so I'm just gonna make this intro quick because it's gonna be a really long video. This is going to be another highly overdue video, just like the concert clips from Nashville. This is gonna be my One Direction concert experience. The concert I went to was in Nashville, Tennessee on August 19th of last year. When I woke up, I didn't really get that it was that day yet because I don't know if I'm the only one who this happens to or not, but at first I don't really realize what day it is or where I am or that I'm even awake until a couple of seconds, so it takes me a little while. So I woke up, I looked around my room a bit, and then I saw my countdown. It was just like that one over there, and I saw that it was on the last day, and I was like, okay, holy crap, it's the day of the One Direction concert. This is actually happening. So I got up, I went and marked off the last day, and then I walked out into the kitchen. My dad was already in there, and he was making breakfast for us, and I had woken up like at around 6:30 to 7, which my dad was actually going to wake me up around that time anyway, but the excitement just woke me up. I went and I talked to him a little bit, and then I went and I started to get ready. So I went and I got a shower, and then I did my hair and stuff, and what I was wearing was a white t-shirt that said "Marry Me Now" with him on the back, and then I had just plain black leggings that were like cut off like right here. And then I wore my Union Jack and Ireland flag shoes. I found out how to make those shoes on Sam Loves One Direction and Makenzie Beaver 8's channels. Sam took her channel down, so you won't be able to find the Ireland flag one, but that one's pretty simple. If you do want to recreate this, I will put Megan's video up here in an annotation, as well as down in the info box. So anyway, I ate breakfast, and then I came back in here, I grabbed my bag, and we were staying the night in Nashville, so I had to get a bag. And I took it to the living room, and I sat on the couch. So after I had my stuff ready, my dad got his ready, and then we put it all in his truck, and we got in, and we headed off. So we didn't go straight to Nashville. We went ahead and stopped at Kroger so we could get a few things and so he could get gas, because we're not going to drive 3 hours without getting gas. So he stopped and got gas, and then got a few things inside Kroger, and we had a little conversation with the cashier, because my dad had me tell her where we were going for some reason. I don't know why he did, but that's just my dad. We had a bunch of coins that we had exchanged in the coin starter machines to cash, so that we'd had cash, and it gave me $120 to spend on merchandise, which I spent it all. So after that, we got in the truck and we got the gas, and then we left, and we headed for Nashville, and we only had one other stop, which we stopped at a Hardee's for lunch. That Hardee's was really weird. It was good, but I'm just saying it was weird because it was on like a hill, and it was literally the only thing around it. There was nothing around it. There was nothing there. I wish I had taken a picture so I could show how deserted it was around that Hardee's. It was just right on the side of the road. It was really weird. So after we stopped there, we got back in the truck, and we had no more stops at all until we got to Nashville. So on the way, my dad handed me his phone because I got kind of bored. So he handed me his phone, and he had some movies that were saved to his phone, and I wasn't interested in any of them except one, which was a little short film. It was like a 30-minute animated short film called Cat Shit 1. So of course, with a title like that, it had to be something pretty interesting. So he explained to me what it was, and after I watched it, it was the cutest thing I had ever seen. It was these two little rabbits who were in the military, and they were American soldiers, and then they had the camels that were the Arabs, and they were just like fighting back and forth. It was the cutest thing in the world for some reason. So after I watched that, I handed his phone back, and he put the GPS back up, and we just talked really for the entire way there. I didn't want to listen to One Direction because of the fact that I was already going to see them, so we didn't listen to music the entire time. I just wanted to make it even better by not hearing any of their music until I got to the concert. So when we got to Nashville, we first pulled into our hotel, which was a Comfort Inn & Suites, I believe. I'm not exactly sure. But it was the only hotel, it was the closest hotel that we could find that wasn't completely booked. It was 20 minutes away, and it was the only one, and it was almost booked. We got the hotel, and 3 days later, that hotel was completely booked. So when we got there, we obviously parked, and we took all our stuff, and we went and checked in, and we went upstairs to our room. The elevators were really cool. I love the elevators. I know that sounds really stupid, but I love the elevators. But I just, they were really cool. Like the top was like a mirror. Like I had actually taken a selfie in it. The top was a mirror and it had like all these little lights above it. It was really cool for some reason. I don't know why. I'm just weird like that. So when we got up to our floor, they had like the hallways had like kind of like hexagon diamond shapes, like where the doors were, so you had more space to open your door and stuff. So they had like hexagons pushed out right there, and like a door, and a door. It was really cool. So when we went in there, my dad had to go to the bathroom, so like he went in there and I just like messed around in the room. The first thing I did was drop my stuff and run and dive on the bed. That is always my first instincts. Like I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one who does that. Like, the first instinct is to just to run and dive onto the bed in the hotel room. So I just went and I dived on the bed and I just started taking pictures, like, while I was on the bed. Like, I took a picture of myself just trailing out on the bed. Like, is that weird? Is that weird? So for like half an hour we were in there and I'm just sitting there spinning around in the office chair as well, out of nowhere. And then I just like climbed up and sat down on the air conditioner and just watched the parking lot. I really sound like a stalker right now. I was just like watching people down the parking lot. Because like everybody there was going to the concert, so it was just like mainly girls. It was really funny. So after I got done with what he was doing, we wanted to, like, he wanted to go to this store that he saw. And it was a hunting store, and it was a new one that he really had wanted to go to for a while. And they had one opened like really like 5 minutes away at the most from the hotel. So it was called Gander Mountain. I'm not sure if anybody's heard of that. I hadn't heard of it, so I'm not into all that hunting and stuff. It's called Gander Mountain, and when we got there, it was pretty much deserted. There was like nobody in there. I wouldn't be surprised considering everybody was at the stadium for the concert. But we went in there, and we just walked around for a little while. You know, it was really quiet. We didn't even talk or anything. We just walked in there for a little while, looked around, and then we left. And he looked at me when we got in the truck, and he said, "You ready to go to the stadium?" And of course my first reaction was yes, because of course, I mean, I just wanted to get there as fast as I could. So he said, alright, you know, all we had in the truck was the stuff that we needed to take. So I had my little One Direction bag with me, so I could have like my camera and my phone and stuff. And I will actually talk about bags and stuff in a different video that I will try to upload on Saturday. And it's going to be like what to bring to a One Direction concert, and it'll be what to expect and stuff like that. And I'll lay out every detail that you'll need to know for the tour. So when we started, we were driving over a big bridge, you know, to get there, and he pointed up out the window and he said, "There's the stadium." And I looked to my right and I saw the stadium off in the distance, and that's when my mind just went into a major freak out mode, and I was like having like some kind of like moment in the truck, and my dad's like, "Shut up," because he's trying to hear the GPS on his phone talking at the same time as I'm having some kind of emotional breakdown. So just seeing the stadium made me just freak out. So I was just staring at it and taking these pictures. For some reason that just, it was crazy enough for me to take a picture. I don't even know, I was just freaking out. I mean, I had never even been into a stadium before the concert. Like, I had never even been close to one. I had seen them obviously, but I had never been up close to one, like in person, which sounds pretty stupid, I know, but what can you do? So when we actually got into the stadium, like, it was pretty backed up going into it, but it wasn't that bad. It didn't take very long to get into it. There were some people holding signs saying we need tickets, stuff like that, and then there were some girls in a little yellow bug, like a little yellow bug car, and like a beetle, that's what it's called. They were in a little yellow beetle, and they had the windows down, and they were screaming lyrics to One Direction. I can't remember what song it was. I think it was like Live While We're Young, What Makes You Beautiful, or Best Song Ever, or something. I'm not sure which one. But they were just like looking at me, singing out the window, and waving at me, and I waved back and was just laughing my butt off. I just found it the funniest thing. And they had on their windows like pink window paint. They had like polka dots, and they had like One Direction concert, stuff like that. I wanted to do that, but my dad never really acknowledged like whether or not I should do that, so we never got to do it. But anyway, when we got into the parking lot, we parked, and there was just this massive crowd of people already all lined up out there. I expected it to be this many people, but just to be there and see that many people was just, I don't know, for some reason it was so unreal. So we started walking across the parking lot to get there, and then my dad was like, "Wait, I forgot to grab the tickets." So he was like, "You keep going, I'm gonna run back, grab the tickets from the truck, and I'll come back over here. And I was like, alright. So I kept walking. My dad turned around and started running back to the truck. For some reason he was running like he was in a major hurry, even though we're really not in a hurry. We had 3 hours before the concert even started because it was 4 o'clock. So he went back and he grabbed the tickets and then he ran back and he handed them to me, and he still haven't had them in the envelope. So we went to the crowd, massive like swarm of people, like the ocean of people, and somehow the craziest thing happened. The very first person I saw was one of my good friends, Michaela, from school, and I had no clue she was going to this concert, and I was like, oh my gosh, hi, it's you, you know. It was just so crazy. I didn't even know she was going to be at the concert. We weren't extremely good friends at the time. We've become a lot better friends over time because we have a class together, so we talk quite a bit now. And you know, I was just talking to her for a little bit, and her mom actually said, she said, you know, it's the craziest thing. What are the odds that the first person you run into here is her, you know? So she had these little signs, and I can't remember what they said. I just can't remember what they said now, but they were these little one sheet size signs. I couldn't find those, you know, she told me where she found them, but I still couldn't find them anywhere. There was a merchandise stand over to the left. I decided, you know, it was so crowded that I would wait and probably get it like after the concert or something. Of course, to my luck, there was a big merchandise stand up in our level, and so I was able to go in and get stuff there. So when we got there, we just stood there for a little bit, and we were just like walking around the stadium a little bit. We walked like to the main gates where the entrance was. We got around to the side where the stage was. I just kind of looked at it for a second. Like my dad, he just says, oh, there's the stage. And I'm just sitting there staring at it like, oh god, that's the stage. And I was realizing, you know, it was like less than 200 feet away from me. And I realized the boys are back there, you know, and I was like, holy crap, they're so close to me, they're right there. So I was having another little moment. So we walked back around to the main gates, and we just, you know, stood there for a while while we waited. And we started talking to this girl that we saw. And, you know, we were just talking for a while, and she was saying how, you know, she was asking me, you know, did you hear Niall earlier? And I said, wait, what? No. And she said, yeah, Niall was on the intercom. And he was saying, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, as like a little, just to joke around. And I said, no, I didn't hear that, oh my god, you know. I was just kind of freaking out there. So we were talking for a little while, but eventually we got kind of separated, you know, so we stopped talking. And me and my dad saw this woman and her daughter. So we're talking to them, and the daughter didn't really say much, but the mom was talking to us, and she was saying how they were going to 2 different shows. They were going to the Nashville show, obviously, and the St. Louis, Missouri show. And I was just thinking, okay, that's pretty far away, like really far away. And they had said that directly after Nashville, they were heading straight to Missouri. I don't know how far apart those shows were, but they were heading straight down there. I was like, what? Because that would be a lot of driving, and heading straight down there. Right after the Missouri show, they headed straight back home because she couldn't miss too many days of school. The daughter couldn't. So we were talking to them for a while, and they told us where they were sitting, and they were sitting in the floor section, section K. And eventually, the gates opened. Now there is a lot of waiting. We stood there for like an hour and a half, and it was really hot. Like all night, it was in the 90s, so it was extremely hot. I mean, I don't even know how many times the boys said how hot it was.
Anybody hot? Or are you guys used to this?
When they opened the gates, it moves pretty fast. So we started walking in, and there was this lady who was just about to pass out from the heat, and because there were so many people crowded around her. So, you know, we had to get, you know, my dad stopped to help because, you know, he's a security guard, so he has quite a bit of experience with that stuff. So they had her lay down, you know, and had people give her some room and gave her some water and stuff, and they had to get like paramedics and stuff over there so she didn't pass out. But after the paramedics got over there, we started walking back in. So when we got there, I got up to the gates, and there was this guy with a little flashlight. And you have to open whatever your bag you're holding, push it up, and they shine a flashlight in it real quick. You know, they just, ooh, and then they're done. But there were a lot of bags, like, in the trash can, you know, around me, because people will just, like, throw their bags down and go in, because they don't want to have to go back. And, like, they'll take everything out, shove it in their pockets, and then go in. So they don't have to go back and put their bag back in the thing. So they'll just get rid of their bag completely, throwing it away, or throwing it on the ground or something. So, luckily, I was able to take my bag in. So when we went in, there was another lady there who scans her ticket, and then I was just thinking, oh my god, we're in here. It was crazy. I was just like, oh my god, we're actually in the stadium. So when we got in, we went to the right, and you you know, there's just this big hall that goes all the way around the stadium. There's like a it's like a glass wall that you could see the stairs and escalators through. And another guy looks at your ticket and he says, all right, this way, you know, and he shows, you know, he tells you where to go so you can, you know, make sure you're not going somewhere you're not supposed to, and so you know where to go to get your seats. We went in there. Right once we went in, there was another lady down at the bottom of the escalator. I mean, stairs, not escalator, stairs. So we show her, and she says, all right, right up there. Go up. Another person checks our ticket right at the top of the stairs. There was constant ticket checking. A lot of it. I didn't know there was going to be that much. I thought it was going to be like once when you go down there and they scan your ticket when you first go in, and then that's it. But no, there was a ton of people checking tickets. So when we got up there, we were on the club level, so it was in section 209. So we got up there, and there was a door. Right through the door, so our section on the right. And our seats were right on the end, so we were right next to an exit. And the bathrooms were right by the exit. So you go in and you go straight to the right, and there's the bathrooms, and then there's a bunch of concession stands and tables, and there's just glass, and you can see out of the parking lot, which is really cool. And there was also a big merchandise stand all right by the exit, so we were right next to everything, and it was air conditioned, so it was awesome. So, you know, when we got up there, we went and got some food. So I can't remember, I don't think my dad got anything, but I know I got a big soft pretzel. I love pretzels, so if you go anywhere with me and there's soft pretzels, you better believe I'm gonna have one in my hand within like 5 seconds of seeing it. So, you know, I had a big pretzel, and then like I got up and got some of the bought some merchandise and stuff. At the end of the video, I'll actually hold up the stuff I got and show you the stuff I got. I didn't get too much. I had $120 and I spent all of it, but I didn't get that much. That stuff is expensive. I mean, it's pretty expensive. So I got some merchandise and stuff, and we actually sat in our seats for a while before we went back inside. And then we went out there again. You know, we were just sitting there looking and taking some pictures. One of my favorite picture, it's actually my icon, my YouTube icon on here right now. I'll end up changing it at some point, but you know, when I first upload this video, then that's my icon. It's my absolute favorite picture. I absolutely love it. I really want to get it printed out and like frame it. It is just like, I'm in love with it. I was just standing in front with the stage over my shoulder, and I had to do that because the sun was in my eyes. But so I'm just like standing there like that, but it's an awesome picture. I really like it. So I just stood there by the railing, and my dad took my picture. And I was taking a bunch of pictures as the stadium filled up. When we got in there, it was practically empty. There was like nobody in there when we got in there, but eventually it just filled up. It was so full. Like that was a sold out show, so it was really crazy. And we could see right behind the stage where the fireworks were gonna come out. And I didn't really realize that until the fireworks came out and scared the crap out of me. We went back in and we just sat inside for a while. And there were TVs, like mini TVs everywhere, like including in the bathrooms. Just absolutely everywhere, showing the stage so that you didn't miss anything if you went in during the show. So I obviously wasn't gonna take that opportunity, like that chance of having to see them through little tiny TVs here in the bathroom. We went back out, and the stadium was really filled up. It was only halfway full though, because only like half of the people that were going to see One Direction wanted to see 5 Seconds of Summer. So only half the stadium was filled for that. The other half of the stadium got full right before One Direction came out. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden the screen starts playing something other than music videos and commercials. Everybody started screaming because we automatically knew what that meant. 5 Seconds of Summer, the opening act, were about to come out. I just started screaming as well, and I was just, all you can hear me doing, like in my videos, you could hear me going, oh my god, oh my god. So I was just freaking out because they were about to come out, and I had never seen them in person, nor One Direction, so I was just freaking out. And then they walked out on stage. I just went crazy, like everybody did. You can see, like, there's literally, I have pictures of myself almost crying. Look how retarded I looked. Oh, good lord. So anyway, they came out, and I can't remember what song they performed first, but they performed quite a bit. After their first 1 or 2 songs, they were talking, you know, introducing themselves and stuff, and they were gonna have Ashton talk, and he just says, could you just like talk for about 30 more seconds, Luke, I'm out of breath, I need air. It was pretty funny. So they played a few more songs, and they really wanted to play one more near the end. So they decided to play Disconnected because they really wanted to play it. Like afterwards they said, okay, we gotta play with this one last song. Like before they played Disconnected, they were saying, okay, we're gonna play this one more song and then we gotta go because we don't wanna, because you know we're not supposed to stay on this long. They played that song and then they said their goodbyes and they left. Then it was another about half hour waiting for One Direction to come out. And by this time it was already getting pretty dark. It was dark. It was dark by this time, and it was bright when 5 Seconds of Summer came out. So it got dark really fast. So I went ahead and went inside and went to the bathroom so that I wouldn't miss anything like I said before. So after I went to the bathroom, I came back out and sat back down in my seat. So I was waiting for about another half hour, and me and my dad noticed, like, this is like when everybody was already getting inside. I forgot to say this, but there we could see those two, like the lady and her daughter that we were talking to, we could see them from where we were. It was really cool. Like he was like, look, I can see them from here. It was so far away and they looked like this big because we were in the back of the 200s, but we could still see them. It was really cool. So eventually the Where We Are tour rules, kind of safety precaution things, came on with the boys' voices. And right after that, screen went black and nothing was playing. So I was like, oh my god, wait, what's happening? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, because I knew they were about to come out. But my mind didn't really know that. So like, I knew it, but I didn't at the same time. So then the intro video started playing. And everybody just freaks out. There was so much screaming, including my own, and I was just about to have a heart attack and pass out. I was just about to drop to the floor. And then all of a sudden, the intro video came to an end. I thought there would be at least like a 5-second pause before they came out. Right once, like literally, right like at the end, how they all come forward and then they're looking down at the map and then they look up and it ends. Like right once their eyes met the camera, all I heard was Harry saying straight off a plane to a new hotel, and I was just like, oh my god, my heart just stopped for a second because it took a second to register in my head that I was hearing Harry Styles in person. I was just having some kind of breakdown. I was like, oh my god, Harry Styles, oh my god. So I was just screaming at the top of my lungs. The first song they sung, obviously by that line I just did, was Midnight Memories. And I hate how in all my videos you can hear me singing. I just sound like a dying walrus. I wasn't really trying to sing, I was just like screaming the words. Kind of embarrassing. Like seriously, I sounded so dumb. I wish I hadn't sung like that. Oh, I don't really care, I had a lot of fun. So after a couple songs, they stopped and they started talking. And I still couldn't get through my head that I was just hearing them in person. I could see them. It was like really hard to see them, so I couldn't really tell who was who. I could tell who Niall and Liam were. I could tell them apart because Liam had his snap hat on, and then Niall was running around with a guitar, so I could tell it was him. And I could see the bright blonde hair. So that's the only two I could tell apart. I could hardly tell like Harry, Zayn, and Louis. I couldn't think of his name. I feel so bad. I'm sorry, Louis. I'm such a directionator. So I don't really know how long I can go talking about this because honestly, if I keep talking about the show, I can go on for hours. This video is already going to be long enough. Let's just keep moving. At one point they left, and then they came back on about 5 minutes at the most later to do their encore, and the last song they sung was the best song ever. Before I get to the end of the show, when Niall was talking, Niall did most of the talking. Zayn didn't say anything at all. Niall had started doing this little tune and he starts dancing. Can't remember what Louis said. Oh, I remembered! Okay, he says good stereotype, and then Niall goes, thanks mate, and starts laughing.
Good stereotype. Thanks, mate.
My heart just melted. Like one of my life goals is literally to hear Niall Horan's laugh in person. person. I just like started slapping my dad, and he was like, what? And I said, he laughed. Because I think all of you can agree with me that hearing Niles laugh in person has always been one of the goals of being a directioner, because it's just so cute. And during little things, it was the most beautiful thing. Like all the lights, like you know, you think it's beautiful when you see pictures, but when you're actually there, it is the most unreal thing you will ever see in your entire life, guaranteed. Anyway, back to the end of the show. When they said their goodbyes, they ran off stage and everybody immediately started leaving. I can't even describe it. I was so happy and freaking out still, but at the same time I was already really upset. Like right once they stepped off stage, I immediately got upset because it was over. It had gone by so slow during it, which was awesome. And at the end I was like, it's already over. I mean, I just couldn't believe it was over. And we got up, grabbed our stuff, and we started walking out. Right once we got inside there, you can hardly hear anything. It was so loud in the stadium that your ears have to adjust to the quiet sound. I was still full of energy though, because it's just such it's just this major adrenaline rush to see that like that. When we left, we started walking out to the parking lot, and I was still, you know, I was upset, but I was still full of energy at the same time. When we got up to the truck, we started driving to get out of the parking lot, and it took us 2 hours to get out of that parking lot, and we were literally right by the exit. It was crazy. I called my mom on my dad's phone. This is when she lived in Florida at the time, because my parents are divorced. They're remarried now. So anyway, I called her. Well, I think she called actually, but I was talking to her about it, and you know, I was still freaking out. And then I gave the phone back to my dad, and he started talking to her, and then he said bye. It just hit me. I was exhausted. I couldn't keep my eyes open. My dad, eventually, I could hear him talking to somebody. He had the window down when we were in a standstill, and he was talking to somebody. But I was just passed out. I was like asleep, but not asleep. I was asleep, but I could still hear stuff, and I could hear them. Like I was like just curled up in the seat asleep. And he was saying, yeah, she's exhausted, you know. And he was saying, we had a lot of fun though, yeah. And I was so tired. So I slept for the entire 2 hours. Right when I don't even remember much. Like I don't even remember getting out of the car. But I do remember we walked right back into the hotel. You know, we went up to our room. I got in bed. My dad was watching like some kind of news, like news or something. And I went right to sleep once again. I didn't even have time to be like. I know a ton of people. You know, usually just post-concert depression hits hard, and it didn't hit me yet. I was upset, but I didn't get concert depression yet. I actually got post-concert depression later on. I was so tired that I didn't even think of it. Like I couldn't think about the fact that it was over because I was so tired. So I went to sleep, and when I woke up, it was just a blur. It was just like, when I woke up, that's when it hit me, and I got extremely upset, and I was just depressed the entire time, like the entire day. And I had missed 2 days of school for this, and this was the second day, obviously. And we got all our stuff packed up, and we got ready to go. We went downstairs, and I remember I got some apple juice, and then right after I got finished drinking it, we left. Went up to the truck. And I honestly don't remember any of the drive at all. I only remember one tiny detail of when I got home, and I remember a bit of that night, because I was just so upset that I didn't even think of it. I remember every single detail of the day of the concert, but that's it. We got home, I walked in my room with all my stuff, and I was just thinking, I had my stuff, you know, my bag, you know, my merchandise that I had, and stuff like that. And I looked at my room, and I saw my posters, and I was thinking, I just saw them, you know, and then I was like, I just saw them, and I said it was over. That was amazing, you know, and I was just saying all this to myself, and like in my head, not out loud. I may have said a couple things out loud, but I don't know. I mean, I'm a weird person. I mean, so I wouldn't be surprised if I did. And then that night, I remember that night. I don't remember too much of that night, but all I remember is I cried. I cried my eyes out for, like, literally for about 2 hours. I was laying there in the dark in my bed, crying. Because that's when it really hit me. It was dark and quiet, and I was able to think about it. It was the best day of my life, to be honest. I still can't believe it's over, and it's been like 6 months, and I still can't believe it's over. That was my Where We Are tour concert experience, and now I'm just going to show the merchandise I got and go through a little book that my mom made me that has some pictures. Okay, so before I start, I have like literally 2 things here I got at the show. Only 2. Because one is the Where We Are tour shirt, and that is in my closet. I got the white one, and that's in my closet. I'm not going to get it out though. And I got another shirt, like the black shirt. I got that. That was for my friend because she didn't get to go. So, and that was for Zoe. You guys have seen her in previous videos. So anyway, one of the things I got was the white snapback. I didn't like the other one, the black and pink. It just didn't look right. So I got this. Another thing I got was the light sticks. Hey. It's so cool though. Like, I don't know why, but that just amuses me to see it blinking like that. So that was about $15, and the hat was about $30. And here's my ticket that I framed. And now I've got the book that I'll show real quick.
Now excuse me if I sound rude, but I love the way that you move, and I see me all over you now. Baby, when I look in your eyes, there's no way that I can disguise.
So anyway guys, I really hope you liked this video, and I will see you guys Saturday, so bye guys. It's all over, and I can easily say that that was the best day of my life. They waved into our section, and I got to hear Niles laugh in person. I mean, could it get any better than that? It may have been hot and sweaty, but it was definitely worth it.
I said, hey, LA, it's really, really nice to meet you. It's okay.